Hey guys, and welcome to Deep Talk. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar, and you're listening to KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. I have been networking a lot more lately, and when people have been asking me, what is it that you do? This is what I've been saying to them. It's just been coming out of my mouth. I've just been saying, I teach people how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's simple. Right? We spend our lives in our comfort zone and we wonder why things never change, never seem to work out for us. And we wonder, why is it so hard for me to get to the next level in any area of your life and in your business? And honestly, it's because you're a little bit too cozy in your box. But the cool thing is that once you start to be willing to be open to the possibility of what's outside your comfort zone, it's like a total head rush. So let me ask you, where are you still living comfortably? Is it in your health and your well-being? Is it in your relationship with others, with yourself, with your dreams? I want to know. So email me at vasavi@vasavikumar.com. Go to my website at vasavikumar.com and just let me know where you're still being comfortable. I want to know. And I want to ask you guys, last week's show, what did you guys think of it? I absolutely loved my guest, Jen Kem. We talked all about bullying, the impact, and really how you can still move forward in your life despite whatever your past may have looked like. And if you want to read about people who have truly succeeded in spite of whatever their circumstances are, you got to get my book, Succeeding in Spite of Everything, which you can get right off my website, vasavikumar.com. So I'm so excited for my guest today. I have two people that I'm interviewing today, not just one. And both of them are my colleagues and my friends. And one of them just so happens to be my amazing coach who has supported me throughout my journey this past year. So my first guest is Reverend Dr. Devaa Haley Mitchell. And she's a spiritual guide, a public speaker, and a musician. And she hosts these amazing programs called Soulful Women. And her passion, her mission is really to just awaken the feminine within us. She's founded and she's a co-host of the Inspiring Women Summit, which literally gathers virtually 70,000 participants from more than 60 countries. So if you want to just, get into their archives and just kind of see all the wonderful women that they interviewed, go to inspiringwomensummit.com. And she's also the Chief Transformation Officer at the Shift Network, which she co-founded with her husband, Stephen Dinan. And if you want to learn more about her, go to her website, devaa.com, devaa.com. And in her private practice, she works with women to really reconnect with just their feminine essence and really redefine what success means in their personal lives. My second guest, Elayne Doughty, is my coach, and she's also the founder of the Queens of Transformation, and also the co-founder of the Soulful Women program and the Gracias Foundation. She does a lot of amazing work. She's a speaker, best-selling author, psychotherapist, sacred activist, soul midwife, and an ordained priestess. And what Elayne has done for me is really to just guide me and help me to transform the pain of my past into a more powerful present and an extraordinary future. And she's done this with so many women. Every woman that crosses her path will be transformed just because of who Elayne is. And she's a powerful, bold, and passionate speaker whose presence activates and transforms women to take bold actions and move mountains, literally, to be of service to the world. So we're going to be talking all about activating the soulful women in you, so you don't want to turn that dial. We're going to go deep with two of the deepest women that I know, Devaa and Elayne. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO, Talk Radio 710, and 103.7 FM. And if you want to check out past shows from Deep Talk, go to my website, vasavikumar.com/Deep Talk.
KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now on FM at 103.7. If your biggest problem with Sean Hannity was getting him at work, there's no more excuse.
They were able to get their friends in the media to ignore the truth about their candidate and pretty much keep him from ever expressing his real views. And he was really good at reading a teleprompter speech that other people would write for him.
The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays 2 to 5 on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now 103.7 FM. When you're ready to get it right, get KCMO Talk Radio 710 now at 103.7 FM.
Hey, this is Dr. Axe. Do you want to learn how to lose weight, cleanse, and boost your energy? If so, I'd like to invite you to the Transform Your Body seminar happening August 28th, 7 p.m. at Heartland Chiropractic in Kansas City. I will be discussing how to lose 20 pounds in 30 days, the 3-day detox to boost energy by 300%, and advanced nutrition. Also, I'll have a free food sampling of dark chocolate and raw cheese. Now, tickets are typically $20, but I'm giving away the first 50 tickets for free if you email events@draxe.com today. Again, events@draxe.com today. You can get your tickets for free or go online and register at draxe.com. That's draxe.com. Just sign up for the Advanced Nutrition and Detox Seminar Tuesday, August 28th. Space is limited. Can't wait to see you there.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and I'm here with Fiona today from a local Ford dealership, and Fiona told me she's desperate to have an honest conversation with me about brakes.
That's correct, Mike.
All right, let's begin.
Let's talk about the Motorcraft Complete Brake Service.
Okay.
What that is we replace your pads or shoes, machine your rotors or drums. All labor is included, and on top of it, we throw in a rebate.
I'm beginning to see where the word complete really has some meaning here.
That's right.
It's a Motorcraft Complete Brake Service. This is thorough, all-encompassing.
Let Ford-trained technicians take care of your brakes with Motorcraft Complete Brake Service. Installation is included and get a $40 mail-in rebate. That's expert service and $40 back in your pocket.
One price covers everything.
That's correct.
Not really, because that one price isn't really the one price because the rebate comes in. So it's really the price minus the price.
Even better.
It's better than complete.
It's better than complete.
It's mega complete.
Limit 1 redemption per axle. See participating Ford dealer for rebate details and vehicle exclusions, or visit FordOwner.com through 8/31/12.
I knew I was stuck at this kid's house for the night. I decided to just go to sleep and get the night over with. But those guys came into the bedroom and got into a massive pillow fight. Let me tell you, it's not easy falling asleep when a sweaty little kid falls on you every 5 seconds. Even after the lights went out, Raleigh and his friends stayed up. A bunch of them snuck up on me to try and pull a hand in a bowl of warm water trick. Well, that was enough for me. I went downstairs to sleep in the basement even though it was pitch black. I left my sleeping bag upstairs and that was a mistake, because it was freezing. I think it was probably the longest night of my life. When the sun came up this morning, I found out the reason it was so cold. I was sleeping right by the sliding glass door, and some fool had gone and left it open overnight. That really stunk, because if I knew there was a way to escape last night, I definitely would have taken it. To read more about the sleepover, check out Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Last Straw by Jeff Kinney. Explore new worlds and check out more cool books at your local library, and visit read.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night.
Perfect. I love my job.
Oak tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Where Kansas City talks. Talk Radio 710. Now at 103.7 FM.
Welcome back, guys, and you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. Here's the thing, guys. I know that you are here to make a unique contribution to the planet. I know you have a dream even bigger than you can put your finger on. However, as we've talked about on many of our shows here, the biggest obstacle that we have to our success is ourselves. And just through a lifetime of experiences, you've cultivated those attitudes, those habits, those belief systems, and they have definitely served you to stay safe and to stay comfortable and to survive for you to get through life, but they don't serve the greater journey ahead. So I want to get right into it with my guest, Devaa, co-founder of the Shift Network, and my coach, Elayne, founder of Planet Breathe, about what you need to be doing and who you need to be being in order to clear your soul's path. So welcome, Devaa and Elayne. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks, Vasavi. It's really fun to be here with you on your show today.
Thanks, Devaa. And how about you, Elayne?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Thanks, Elayne. So, guys, in your work, I know you guys, you do a lot of stuff and you talk a lot about the extraordinary times that we're living in. So, there's a lot of stuff floating around about 2012 and why 2012 is so important. What is so important about this year of 2012 and just this general era that we're living in?
Thanks, Vasavi, for the question. Well, yeah, there's really a lot of lore around the year 2012. I think many people are aware, and maybe others of you not so aware, that there's a Mayan prophecy that really talks about the end of time being in this year, and really it's rooted in their calendar, which ends in the year 2012. And so many people have a lot of fear around that. There's a lot of end times. Even a big major movie came out around this whole topic. But we're really looking at it is it's the end of one era, but it's also the beginning of something else, something that is magnificent and something that is really our opportunity to create the kind of world that we want to live in. And so here at the Shift Network, we're putting a lot of emphasis on this year and focusing on December 22nd, 2012, which is not the end. The end is slated to be December 21st, but the 22nd, which is the beginning of this new era that we're birthing. And really, we think about it a lot as an era where the masculine and the feminine in all of us is really being called to come into balance, where those of us who are women and men can be more in touch with our feminine and bring the planet back into greater harmony at this time.
Well, when you talk about end of an era, so what is it that you think is actually ending?
Well, in the deepest level, I would say the patriarchal structures that have really been governing our society through time. I think it's the end of the hierarchical, more structured patriarchy, and there's something new that's bustling, that's wanting to be born, that's a lot more egalitarian, that's a lot more soulful in many ways, where we're looking at much more depth at what is the impact beyond the bottom line in our companies, what's the impact on the planet, how do we engage the people much more deeply, and how do we really create a planet that's thriving? Because, for all intents and purposes, our planet is really in a conundrum. And when you look at what's happening economically, when you look at what's happening in the environment, many of our systems are breaking down. And it can be fear-inducing, but also that breakdown we know is a precursor to breakthrough to a new possibility. I want to invite Elayne to jump in here too with us.
And just one more thing, Elayne, I want to hear what you have to say. And what it really sounds like is that the end of the era is really the end of the I-centered and more of a shift into the we-centered and the us-centered.
So as I'm listening to what you're saying, Devaa, what I'm struck with is the word unity consciousness, like an awareness of not ourselves as individuals, Vasavi, exactly as you're saying, but ourselves as part of a whole system of life being on this planet, that everything I think, say, and do affects everything else. And that there's no way to separate that out, that I can't stand over here and know that my actions don't impact the women who, for example, live in the Congo or live in the Philippines, that ultimately we're moving to a state of consciousness where we are being asked to be responsible and accountable for what's happening on our planet as a collective.
So it's no surprise, you guys have titled your newest program for women, Birthing Your Soul's Calling. And how exactly do we go about birthing our soul's calling?
Well, that's a great question, Vasavi, and it ties into what we're talking about the times that we're living in. We in our programs believe that every single one of us who's here on the planet at this time has a unique calling to fulfill, that we're not just here to live out a life, but we're actually being called to step forward in our magnificence and to offer our unique gifts and talents as an agent of transformation on the planet. And so how we exactly go about that is by, first of all, identifying that we're here for a purpose, that we're not just here by mistake, that we're divinely ordained and that we're on a mission. And that mission is to actually make a difference in the world and to be an agent of transformation. And so when we start to identify ourselves that way, we can then start to ask some deeper questions of, well, if I'm here to fulfill a certain destiny, if I have a calling, then what is it that calling is? And really, in my own experience of working with many, many people, myself included, over the years, we have to go back to really where our passions are and what it is that brings us most joy in our lives in order to begin to find a thread of possibly what our calling is.
So I know you guys have a retreat coming up, just focusing on birthing your soul's calling, where you work with the archetype of the midwife. And, just for our listeners out there who don't know what an archetype is, what a midwife is, can you say more about that?
Sure, definitely. And for those of you that are interested in checking out this retreat, it is coming up. It's at the end of September. It's here in California where we live, and you can go to soulfulwomen.com/retreats to learn more about the actual retreat. But one of the things at the retreat, as you said, Vasavi, is we work with this archetype of the midwife. Now, the archetypes are these cross-cultural patterns, and I think the easiest way to describe them is to give you a few examples. Mm-hmm. For example, there's the archetype of the mother. So no matter where you live, you have a sense of what it means to be a mother, or what it means to be a fool, or what it means to be a queen or a king, or what it means to be a mystic. So there are these, often if you look at our deck of cards, or the tarot cards, there are these archetypes. And an archetype that's really emerging in these times is the midwife. And the midwife is really supporting the birth of this new era. And so we often think about, it's the end of the old. We're hospicing out the old era, and we're midwifing in the new era. And so in the retreat, we really invite people to tap in with that midwife inside themselves to say, what is it that you are helping to bring in? If we have this larger collective tapestry that we're weaving, each of us has a thread, and what is our unique thread that we're pulling through, that we're birthing, that we are being the midwife to? And as we tap into what we're bringing in this archetype, it really supports us to have energy that's bigger than just what we as an individual can do. It really taps into these larger than life forces, energies in the planet, where we can just open ourselves to let something come through us, instead of just having to push from our will or from our ego to try to make it happen. We can open to these larger than life energies and allow something to happen through us, where we're really more of a vessel or a conduit.
Wow. Guys, if you want to check out Devaa and Elayne's retreats, go to soulfulwomen.com/retreats. They take place in California. And honestly, Devaa and Elayne, I just understood what you finally meant by archetype of midwife. I see this all over the place, and I just got it. I just understood what an archetype is.
Breakthrough right here.
Yeah, I'm just like, so the mom, the fool, like we all have them in different cultures. They look maybe differently, but everyone can relate. So they're more like umbrella figures. They're more like kind of like overarching themes of kinds of people. But what I hear you saying is in 2012, the role of the midwife is really going to be out there more.
It's really central.
Well, this is the thing, Vasavi. If you think about, I'm just going to bring it real down, deep and personal here with you and me. I've been coaching you. You've said that on your program right here. Yeah. And over the last year, I've had this tremendous privilege of helping you birth a new version of yourself into being, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's been my role with you, is to kind of stand as a midwife to your process, which means that, you're going to birth yourself no matter what, but the midwife is the one who has the ability to kind of know the terrain of what it looks like as someone's going into birth. And you might actually think about, actually the role of a midwife on the physical level, which is, she attends the birthing of a baby, and she helps the mom and the baby have a safe passage through that birth. Well, Devaa and I both know that as a planet, when a planet is a process of rebirthing itself, there needs to be a lot of midwives on hand, right? There needs to be a lot of people who are willing and able to actually take others through this birthing process so that they can actually shed who it is they've been in the past to step forward into the magnificence of who they actually are, which is what I've been witnessing you do this last year, to a whole nother level. And this process doesn't ever stop. It's not like we just have one birth in our lifetimes. I think that we get reborn regularly, and that part of the process of entering into that discomfort that you were talking about earlier on, where are we comfortable and where are we uncomfortable, is when we go through a birthing process, there's usually some edge and discomfort around it, which is why we need support when we're going through it.
Okay, so what you talked about before, that just the birthing of the soul's calling, what that really means is to, identify that we're here for a purpose, and the mission is to be an agent of transformation. So the midwife essentially is the agent of transformation.
Exactly.
So
she's all about helping all of you get out there into the world and do what it was that you came here to do.
So we're talking,
whatever it is.
Oh, okay. And it doesn't have to look a particular way. It's anyone who's supporting someone else in becoming a better version of themselves, who's supporting them throughout that process. I got it.
Yes.
Okay, so
you're calling on that all the time too.
Yeah, thank you. I know. Thank you. And so, guys, if you want to check out their free series on really activating your soulful women, go to soulfulwomen.com/activation. It's a free series. You're going to be learning lots of stuff, everything that we're talking about on a much deeper level. So guys, I come across so many people who don't know why they're here and what they're meant to do on this planet. And, some people don't know what their calling is. So how do you support people to figure that out?
Mm-hmm. And actually, this is something that we go through in a lot more depth in that activation series Vasavi just mentioned. So I'll speak it kind of quickly here because I know we have limited time, but you can just sign up for that at soulfulwomen.com/activation, 3-part free series that really dives in more deeply. But the model that we often use, for simplification, we call it the pyramid model. And I'm going to invite you to just imagine a pyramid that has 4 sides. So a square bottom, 4 sides on this pyramid. And we think of each side is a different aspect of ourselves. And what we're looking for is the top of the pyramid. The top of the pyramid is what we call our sweet spot. And that sweet spot is something that is really our unique gift to bring onto the planet. So the way we find our sweet spot is by finding the places where these 4 different sides of the pyramid all intersect. So the very first side of the pyramid is what we think of as passion. What is it that you are so passionate about? Elayne and I will often say, what is it that would make you move a mountain? Or if you are staying up late at night thinking about things, what is it that maybe keeps you up at night, that bothers you, that cause or that passion that you would move a mountain for? So that's the first side of the pyramid. Second side of the pyramid is, what are your unique skills and talents? There's some things that you were born with. Maybe you were born as a great musician, or maybe you were born as someone who really has a lot of engineering skills, or you're good with fixing things. There are those things that we just naturally have skills around or talents around. Then there's also those skills that we've developed through a lifetime of doing various jobs or through our life experience. So skills and talents is another side of the pyramid. The third side of the pyramid is, what kind of environments do we thrive? For example, some people, like my husband, he is really great in front of a computer. He can sit there for many hours a day. He's very strategic. He loves communicating using technology. That's an environment where he thrives. For me, not so much. I would prefer to be spending a lot of my days outside in my garden, or I'd prefer to be sitting with people and doing one-on-one coaching sessions or group sessions. So what kind of environments we thrive in really is key to our unique contribution. And then finally, the fourth side of the pyramid is, what are the needs of the world? For example, if I was saying, wow, I'm really excited about, creating green shoes for the world, the question arises, well, does the world really need green shoes? Are people hungry for that? Is that passion that I might have in resonance with what the world is really calling for? If there's 10 coffee shops on your neighborhood, maybe you don't need an 11th one. And so when you put those all together, you look at all 4 sides of the pyramid, that sweet spot is the place where they all come together and where you can uniquely make a contribution because you have the passion, you have the skills and the talents. It's something that you thrive at, and it matches a need for the world. So we take people through a process to really go through each of those in depth to find that sweet spot, and then also to to connect in with the center of the pyramid, which is your essence, your soul, and how you can really tap into your soul to feed you making your biggest contribution in the world.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's brilliant. And I actually do want to talk about that when we get back. So Dave and Elayne, stay right there. We're going to take a break, and when we get back, I want to go just talk a little bit more about this pyramid model, because it's just fascinating just to hear about how easy it is to figure out what your calling is. And we're going to talk about the F word, the word that we give so much power over. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM.
KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now at 103.7 FM. The KCMO Morning Show with Greg Knapp.
Every generation is trying to do more and more things at the same time.
Asking the questions you want answered.
Will we do what's necessary to balance our budgets?
Informative insight for your drive to work.
One crime is linked to Facebook every 40 minutes.
The KCMO Morning Show with Greg Knapp. Weekday mornings from 5 till 9 on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and now on 103.7 FM.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Medicare, the hot topic of debate on the Sunday talk shows. The Obama campaign's Stephanie Cutter says it is an important question in the presidential race.
How we're going to strengthen Medicare, whether we're going to protect seniors or we're going to shift all the costs to seniors. So, we're happy to have a substantive debate, but we need some substance on the other side.
The Romney campaign's Kevin Madden countering that President Obama has weakened the system.
It takes $700 billion out of it and uses it to spend on a new entitlement, which is part of Obamacare. So it actually takes the money away from Medicare and spends it in a new way.
Madden and Cutter both appearing on ABC's This Week. An Idaho National Guard helicopter and 7 soldiers expected to be stationed by tomorrow near the wildfires in the southwestern part of the state. They'll be there for medical evacuations if necessary. That wildfire has been burning for 2 weeks. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Your KCMO forecast from KCTV5.
Partly cloudy and comfortable here on our Sunday. We'll warm into the upper 70s by noon on our way to a daytime high of 82 this afternoon. We'll cool back into the 70s this evening before eventually dropping into the 50s by sunrise on Monday morning. A pretty nice stretch of weather here for the next couple of days. 85 on Monday, 87 on Tuesday. I'm KCTV5 meteorologist Tom Walks.
When it comes to assisted living, are you going to trust your mom or dad to a giant corporation? Of course not. Hi, this is Frank Curtis. Shawnee Heartland is the boutique community of choice, a community with heart, privately owned and operated since 2000. Log on to ShawneeHeartlandAL.com. Shawnee Heartland Assisted Living. We're not a giant corporation. We're family.
Hey, Billy, want to go to the state fair?
Yeah!
Well, you can't.
Huh?
Well, you see, Billy, when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have done with it. But now your parents are becoming energy efficient. They could save hundreds of dollars a year and take you to the fair next year.
I want to go now.
I know you do. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We've been married 38 years. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We play golf and we travel, but we also decided we were going to give to and volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
I do the nursing at the clinic.
I work the front office, checking in patients, greeting them, making them feel comfortable.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places, the places that need it most and implement it best.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too.
We even get a few bless yous. It's incredible.
We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic, so we don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Kids have the craziest ideas about food. Where do they get this stuff? Like eating Brussels sprouts helps you hit home runs. And eating carrots gives you X-ray vision. It's nuts. And I honestly have no idea where my daughter got this notion that broccoli is the official food of professional ballerinas. Kids, the only reason my 4-year-old loves cantaloupe is because he's convinced it comes from the moon.
One small step for man, lots of potassium for mankind.
And the other day when my oldest came up to me and said, Mom, will eating peas and carrots really help me pull off a fakey frontside ollie with a twist? I look him in the eye and say, it can't hurt, honey. It can't hurt.
Moms everywhere are finding creative ways to help their kids eat 5 servings of fruit and vegetables a day. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
KCMO Talk Radio 710, now on FM at 103.7, covering Kansas City like never before. Yeah, you're covered. This is KCMO.
Hey guys, we're back and you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. Before the break, Devaa and Elayne were talking about the pyramid model. So, I had asked them, if people don't know what their calling is, how do they even figure that out? And so Devaa gave 4 great kind of steps and just things to really look at. And we're going to talk about that later. I have Elayne on the phone for probably another 10 minutes. So I have to ask her these 2 questions because I know she actually has a client after this. So I don't want to keep her. So Elayne, I want to talk about this F word. We drop the F bomb like it's our job. Okay. And I'm not talking about that F word because I can't say it on the radio. What I am talking about is fear. Right? What gets in the way of people truly living their soul's calling is this thing that we give so much power to called our fears. So what do you suggest when people feel fear or resistance that arises in their connection to their calling, when they know that they're meant to do something that's bigger than themselves, but they get kind of pushed by fear? What do you suggest?
Well, okay, the first thing I'm going to say is take a deep breath.
We do a lot of breathing on our coaching calls.
Right? We do a lot of breathing because this is the reality of what I know to be true. From my experience is that when any of us start to embrace something that's bigger than what we're doing right now, it's a natural thing for fear to come up. Whatever expansive thought we might have about, speaking out in public or writing a book or launching our own company or, whatever it is that we're feeling, oh, this is what I'm being called to do, there's going to be fear that comes up. So the first thing I always say to everyone is like, okay, just take a breath and welcome the fear, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? Because essentially what I'm saying is don't push it away. Mm-hmm. Because your fear, there's this wonderful acronym which is false experiences appearing real. That your fear basically is in the space of all the limitations, all of the things that you've ever been told about yourself that you've believed that aren't true, that say that you can't do what you came here to do. Does that make sense?
No, well, it quite simply stated, you're saying welcome your fear because whatever you resist will persist.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, Vasavi, I'm wondering if you do this with me right now, since you know me quite well.
Yes. Yes.
I'm wondering if I can use you as a guinea pig, and everyone else who's listening in can just follow along this exercise as we do it together. How's that sound?
I'm always a guinea pig. This is my show. I can do whatever I want. Let's go.
I know. Isn't that great?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I want you to do, Vasavi, and for everyone listening, you can do the same thing. I want you to think about something that you are wanting to do in your life. Maybe it's something that's new, something that you haven't yet mastered. It's something that's coming to you that you're aware you really want to have a go at. Okay, and you're willing to name what that is?
Yes.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay. So, I do a lot of writing, I do a lot of speaking, and what I'm uncomfortable or what I'm scared of really doing is to really share with people that the thing that you need to be afraid of is not what you're afraid of, it's the fear itself. I'm scared to tell people that because I'm just afraid that they're going to look at me like I'm being righteous or I think I know better, but the fact is I know from my own experience that there's nothing to fear except the fear itself. And that's bold for me. That's bold for me to just say that out loud.
Good. Okay, so I want you to feel your boldness, so I thank you for your boldness. And now I just want you to feel into the part of you that feels the fear, and I want you to feel it in your body. I just want you to feel where you're holding that fear, and everyone else follow along too. Whatever it is that you're frightened of, just go ahead and feel it in your body as a sensation. So where do you feel it, Vasavi? When you think about stepping out there in this bold action, what happens inside?
My chest, it's always my chest. My chest tightens up.
Yeah. So all of us have our areas where we hold our fears. And the chest is a normal one. The throat is another one. The back of the neck, the sacrum, the thighs, and the hips. So all those places. Everyone feel into that as Vasavi is feeling into hers. Okay, so I want you to just feel into it. And I just want you to embrace it for a moment. I just want you to go to that tightness and just say, I welcome you. Not try to push it away. Just welcome it. Okay? And I want you to imagine that you could just ask that fear what it wants you to know about this situation.
Okay, can I tell you what it says?
Yeah.
It's saying, Vasavi, if you are going to keep withholding your truth from other people, there is no way that you can truly serve humanity.
Okay, and I would go a step deeper.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I would say, Vasavi, if you keep holding your truth back inside of yourself, there's no way that you can ask other people to be real with you.
Oh, my. Elayne, we're on the air. Stop. I'm just kidding. I love it.
Sure.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so this is, okay, so this is the transformational moment, right? Which is, it's really about your fears get in the way of you serving at a deeper level, because ultimately what you're frightened of doing, you can't ask someone else to do. And that's about being an agent of transformation. So really, when I say embrace the fear has the answer within it. But most of us want to run from our fears, and we want to medicate them, we want to dull them down, we want to have a drink or whatever it is we want to do to ignore it. But really what I'm saying is that there's gold inside that fear if you're willing to embrace it and have it be here. My heart's beating.
So how'd you go that how did you get even deeper than that? Like, how'd you know that?
Because I'm a soul midwife, and I've worked many, many years with my own fears. And I know one of the biggest fears I've had in my own life is about showing up and being seen and having other people possibly judge me or extradite me or, basically, getting stoned in some way. You know what I mean? Like being attacked for showing my real self. And so I know that that's not just a fear that I have. It's a fear that many, many of us have when we stand up and start to speak our truth. So all of you,
one thing I just wanted to jump in here is what I think is so beautiful, Vasavi, and part of why I love our retreats is that as people are hearing you speak, Vasavi, we can find ourselves in you and in your example. And when we do our retreats and we get together, people go really deeply into this soul process that we were just touching on the very surface of with what you were just doing with Elayne. But as we each do that and we're peeling off the layers of the onion, we're really revealing our true selves in a group with other people. We get to see, wow, the things that we're so afraid of, we're not alone in that. That fear that we feel all lonely about it's something that it gets held collectively, and then what we can do together is not just feel the fear, but then actually go through a very deep soul process to clear the fear. And when we do that with a group of other humans that can see each other and touch each other and transform together, it is so, so, so powerful. And we also get lifted up by each other's transformation. So it goes so fast, and it's so exciting, really, to see the years. They say you can come to years of therapy, or you can go and do a very deep transformational journey in a weekend and move through years of, or even lifetimes, perhaps, of material so quickly. So
Devaa, I've never actually had the privilege of coming to actually one of your retreats, but I have heard that they are so transformational. And yes, I mean, you could be on this journey for a lifetime, and you can transform your life and the way you perceive yourself in one weekend if you have the right midwife helping you birth your soul's calling. So guys, make sure you check out soulfulwomen.com/retreats for their upcoming retreats. If you want to just kind of get a taste of what Elayne and Devaa do, they've been generous enough to give away their free series, which is all about activating the soulful women within you. So go to soulfulwomen, WOMEN.com/activation. And I think Elayne had to drop off because I know she had. Are you here?
I do. I'm still here, and I'm just going to bid you farewell and thank you, Vasavi, for being such a generous guinea pig and being so committed to your own process of moving through to authenticity. I know that that's what you're all about. So thank you for that, and to all the listeners who are here. we'd love to see you in person at one of our retreats if you feel called. And I know David's going to continue to talk a little bit more now in detail about how you can actually manifest that, birthing your soul's calling into the world. So I'm sending love and blessings to all and going to jump off right this moment.
Thanks, Elayne.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Elayne.
So I want to go back to the pyramid model, Devaa, before we talk about how to manifest.
Okay.
Your calling, right? So the pyramid model consists of, finding your sweet spot. And the way you find your sweet spot is to identify.
Which we also call your D spot, which is your destiny spot.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so it's your D spot, not your G spot. It's your D spot. And
Your
so,
D spot.
okay, so it really does consist of finding your passion, your unique skills and talents, the environment that you best thrive in, and the needs of our world. And so how do people usually do this? Is it, and I'm just getting really kind of down to the specifics so people can actually walk away with this because it's a great model. Is it like a written thing that people do? Is it something that they say out loud?
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. You can certainly do it with a journal, and also usually not on your own. So, for example, some of the things you can do on your own. For example, the first one, figuring out what your passion is. For myself, as an example, I know that I'm passionate about many different things. I care about a lot of causes in the world. But I, was asked this question, which I'll ask to all of our listeners right now, which is, if you had a magic wand, and if there was one major issue that you could eradicate on our planet with your magic wand, which one issue would it be?
Oh, can I answer for me?
Please.
Okay, so there's maybe like a few collapsed, Devaa, but if I had a magic wand, I would want the entire planet to be okay with being uncomfortable. Okay. I wouldn't want people to tiptoe around stuff. I wouldn't want people to be hush-hush. I would want people to be able to communicate freely what's on their mind, be willing to do the thing that they need to do, regardless of how weird or new it feels. I'd want them to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm. And so what I'm hearing you say, too, is being okay with being uncomfortable, but also being able to tolerate some of the whatever feedback might come. If there's difference, people who disagree, being willing to just sit in the discomfort and not try to mold yourself to shape yourself.
Yes,
in order to fit in.
I would just, if I had a magic wand, I'd want everyone to just be them. Whoever that is, without the mask, because I think we would move towards a society and a planet where everyone was just being so open and just being accepting of one another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a key to your passion and something that, you obviously are, this is something that you're now doing in your coaching practice and really working on. So it's a good signal that you're very much on track. For me, as an example, one thing that I'm really passionate about is, and if I could wave a magic wand, I would stop war as being a way to try to resolve our differences on the planet and violence, war and violence. And so as a result of that, one of the things that I've done is I've helped to create a nonprofit that's called the Summer of Peace, which originally was a nonprofit. Now it's a wing of what we're doing inside of our company, the Shift Network. We're basically subsidizing a whole set of programming around peace building. And so, that's something for me that I'm doing that's very aligned with my passion. But again, it can't just be the passion on its own. There's the passion, then there's, what are your natural skills and talents? So one thing you can do to think about the natural skills and talents is you can just start making a list of, ever since you were a little kid, what do you know you've always been good at? And just start writing a list. For me, I've always been good at singing, and so I recently actually just put out an album. Or for you, Vasavi, what's something you've always been good at since you were little?
I've always been good at talking.
So it makes a lot of sense that you are doing a radio show here. So that's, so you go through writing down the list of all these things, and sometimes it's very helpful to interview other people who are good friends of yourself, because they can give you the mirror perspective, not just of what you're aware of you might be good at, but, your friend might say to you something you might not know. Wow, you're a really good listener. And when I'm with you, Vasavi, I feel like you're really listening deeply. And so you get this whole list of those things. And then when you have the list, you go back and you circle the ones after you brainstorm. What are the top 3 or 4 that really are something that you're skilled, perhaps more skilled than other people at?
So Devaa, we have maybe like 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So so I'm gonna tell them the 4 parts of the pyramid model so they can go home with that. So once a person has a sense of their calling, what does it take to manifest it?
Well, really it's about putting it into action. And so what I do is I break it down into simple steps. Writing out your goals. You got to have them written down somewhere. And you start out with your goal, but then what are those bite-sized steps that you can take on every day and every week? And I always ask my clients to say, what is your wow this week? Meaning within 1 week, what are you going to do to get into action? Because the vision's beautiful, but unless you break it down to those bite-sized steps, you're not going anywhere. So taking those steps every single day and then starting to look at who are the people that you can enroll that have similar passions and dreams that can support you or that you can collaborate with in different ways. But it's really about getting into action every day.
That's really what it is, because you can understand what it is, but what your calling is, but until you take that action, it doesn't mean anything. I get it.
Right. And most people feel paralyzed because you might have a big vision. You want to do something large. I want to eradicate violence and war on our planet. I can be completely paralyzed and not do anything because it feels like I'm just one person. What can I really do to make such a big difference? But then you just break it down into, okay, what can I do this week? And it's just, that journey of 1,000 miles. What are the little steps you can take? But if you put in 5 minutes to an hour every day, you can actually make a huge amount of progress towards something that otherwise could seem really daunting.
Absolutely. And so, Devaa, how can people, I know we've kind of led them towards the free series and the retreats. Is there anything else that you want to say about people who are interested in continuing on this, with this conversation and on this journey with both of you?
Yeah, I think it's really, those are 2 entry-level programs that we have. If there's anyone who's really serious and wants to do a much deeper dive, Elayne and I actually do offer a certificate program, which is a 9-month program. We'll be starting again in the fall. Mm-hmm. You can check out soulfulwomen.com/certificate. And that's beautiful because it's really a journey that is with a lot of other people. But in addition, if you want one-on-one help, you could contact either Elayne or myself, Devaa. We both do coaching work as well, as do you, Vasavi.
Yes.
And so having someone who can really coach you specifically on, finding your calling and then breaking it into those steps and then holding you accountable, having someone else do that for you is really important, which is why I know you use a coach and I use a coach, and most people who are being really successful have someone who's in their court helping them in that way. So find someone, if not one of us, to coach you and support you.
Thank you so much, Devaa and Elayne. I wish you were still here, but thank you guys so much. And listeners, I'm going to give you guys all the information to check out their retreats, their free series, how to work with them. Thank you so much, Devaa, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Vasavi, and thank you for the blessing that you are giving to all your listeners on this radio show to expose them to so many amazing people.
Thank you, Devaa. Guys, don't go anywhere. You're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM.
KCMO Talk Radio 710, now on FM at 103.7. Hear Dave Ramsey at his new time, weekdays 9 to 11.
Listen, if you have a 20-year-old walking around, you got an 18-year-old walking around, grab them by the ears. You do not get a freaking useless degree from a private university that you cannot make a living with and then choose to go home and be a stay-at-home mom with $100,000 in student loan debt. Someone tell people this is going to happen. It's called life.
The Dave Ramsey Show, only on KCMO.
When it comes to assisted living, are you going to trust your mom or dad to a giant corporation? Of course not. Hi, this is Frank Curtis. Shawnee Heartland is the boutique community of choice, a community with heart, privately owned and operated since 2000. Log on to ShawneeHeartlandAL.com. Shawnee Heartland Assisted Living. We're not a giant corporation. We're family.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and I'm here with Fiona today from a local Ford dealership, and Fiona told me she's desperate to have an honest conversation with me about brakes.
That's correct, Mike.
All right, let's begin.
Let's talk about the Motorcraft Complete Brake Service.
Okay.
What that is we replace your pads or shoes, machine your rotors or drums. Mm-hmm. All labor is included, and on top of it, we throw in a rebate.
I'm beginning to see where the word complete really has some meaning here.
That's right.
It's a Motorcraft Complete Brake Service. This is thorough, all-encompassing.
Let Ford-trained technicians take care of your brakes with Motorcraft Complete Brake Service. Installation is included and get a $40 mail-in rebate. That's expert service and $40 back in your pocket.
one price covers everything.
That's correct.
Not really, because that one price isn't really the one price because the rebate comes in. So it's really the price minus the price.
Even better.
It's better than complete.
It's better than complete.
It's mega complete.
Limit one redemption per axle. See participating Ford dealer for rebate details and vehicle exclusions, or visit FordOwner.com through 8/31/12.
Ranger Station.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting, as in Smokey Bear. We were about to head home after a bonfire, and Smokey said the fire wasn't actually out. He said if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans?
No kidding.
I'm a forest ranger. We never kid.
Sorry.
Kidding. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, honey.
Hi, Dad.
What you drawing?
It's our house. That's you.
Oh.
Me.
Huh?
Mom and Josh.
Wow.
Playing ball.
You are becoming quite the artist.
When you're a kid, you don't know that home ownership builds communities. That owning a home contributes to higher self-esteem and better test scores. You just know that home is where you play, grow, and learn. The National Association of Realtors wants you to know that home ownership matters to our families, our neighborhoods, and our country. Learn more at houselogic.com/home ownership.
People will come. People will definitely come.
Brothers and sisters, keep hope alive. Respond now.
A dream is a wish your heart makes.
When running a business, the road to success takes a bit more than relying on faith, hope, and dreams. A solid business plan includes a marketing strategy designed specifically for you. There's a free resource that can help brand your business. CumulusRadio.com. Log on to CumulusRadio.com and find out where to advertise, what to say, and how to say it. You know your business, we know marketing. CumulusRadio.com.
Today's deal, Wonderscope Children's Museum, 50% off. Go to sweetjack.com for 4 passes to the ultimate kids enrichment zone, Wonderscope Children's Museum.
Sweet Jack, now that's a real sweet deal.
Sweetjack.com.
Kansas City's talk station, Talk Radio 710, and now at 103.7 FM. The biggest names in talk radio, even easier to listen to. AM, FM, and online at KCMOTalkRadio.com.
I go to school with your children. We say the Pledge of Allegiance together. I'm one out of every 4 children in America, and I'm struggling with hunger. I'm lucky to grow up where I could be whatever I want. I want to grow up and be someone who doesn't go to bed hungry. Please visit feedingamerica.org today and find your local food bank. Every dollar you donate helps provide 7 meals for kids like me. Together, we're Feeding America. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Greg Knapp.
Take the poll right now, KCMOTalkRadio.com. Should the EPA waive the ethanol mandate during this drought so that corn prices come down? KCMOTalkRadio.com.
Hey guys, we're back and you're listening to Deep Talk on KCMO Talk Radio 710 and 103.7 FM. What a great show. I absolutely love Devaa and Elayne. I should have been like, what a great show. It was. That was like one full sentence. The two of them have the gift of just creating a space for women to go so deep within themselves. So make sure you check them out at soulfulwomen.com/activation. It's a free series that they're giving away. It's about activating the soulful women within you. So make sure you do that, okay? soulfulwomen.com/activation. Next week is going to be awesome. I've been dying to have this woman on my show. My guest, Byron Katie, is all about doing the work. She has one job and one job only, and that is how to teach people how to stop suffering. So I'm not going to give you guys all the juicy details about what exactly the work is, but it really is about asking yourself these 4 questions. Every single time you're confronted with a thought or a feeling that leaves you disempowered and filled with negativity. So you don't want to miss next week's show. And listen, guys, if you have any questions, email me at Vasavi@VasaviKumar.com. Anything that we've talked about, if you just need clarity on, that's what I'm here for. Go to my website, VasaviKumar.com. Give me a call at 913-951-1764. I want to say thank you for tuning in, as always, every Sunday at 11 a.m. on KCMO Talk Radio 710. And 103.7 FM. This is Deep Talk. I'm Vasavi. And don't forget, be kind to yourself.
Hey, this is Dr. Axe. Do you want to learn how to lose weight, cleanse, and boost your energy? If so, I'd like to invite you to the Transform Your Body seminar happening August 28th, 7 p.m. at Heartland Chiropractic in Kansas City. I will be discussing how to lose 20 pounds in 30 days, the 3-day detox to boost energy by 300%, and advanced nutrition. Also, I'll have a free food sampling of dark chocolate and raw cheese. Now, tickets are typically $20, but I'm giving away the first 50 tickets for free if you email events@draxe.com today. Again, events@draxe.com today. You can get your tickets for free, or go online and register at draxe.com. That's draxe.com. Just sign up for the Advanced Nutrition and Detox Seminar, Tuesday, August 28th. Space is limited. Can't wait to see you there.
KCMO, Kansas City, Talk Radio 710, and now at 103.7 FM, KCFX HD2 Harrisonville, a Cumulus station. Talk Radio in Kansas City, and Fox News now.